This spotlight on employee benefits is sponsored by Aflac, providing a safety net for families. Get started with Aflac today and visit aflac.com/brokers. A 3-judge panel of Democratic appointees on Tuesday heard more than 2 hours of oral arguments in 2 challenges to the health care reform law, the first to make it to appeals court. The suits, one brought by Liberty University and the other by Virginia Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli on behalf of the state, challenged the constitutionality of the individual mandate in the health care reform law. Solicitor General Neil Katyal represented the U.S. Department of Justice. The judges on the federal appeals panel appeared skeptical of arguments that Congress overstepped its authority on the Constitution's Commerce Clause with the individual mandate, according to Fox News and The Washington Post. The government cannot point to any single case where idleness, a choice not to engage in economic transaction, has been found reachable under the Commerce Clause, said Attorney Matthew Staver, who argued the case on behalf of Liberty University. However, Solicitor General Katyal argued all people in the U.S. will at some point require medical care. In addition, he said the mandate was an effort to regulate economic activity rather than inactivity. The House recently passed a bill to eliminate funding for federal grants intended to help states create the health insurance exchanges required under the federal health care reform law. The legislation passed 238 to 183, despite critics arguing the bill could shift power from the states to the federal government. If states fail to establish their health insurance exchanges, the federal government has the authority to run the exchange for them. Just 5 Democrats voted for the bill. The measure is expected to die in the Democrat-controlled Senate, and President Obama has promised to veto the bill if the Senate does pass it. Nearly 44 million fewer Americans would be eligible for Medicaid benefits in 2021 if the Republican House budget becomes law, according to the nonpartisan Kaiser Family Foundation. Under the Republicans' plan, Medicaid would be replaced with block grants, and Medicaid expansion called for in the health care reform law would be eliminated. The report looked at the cuts states would need to make under the new structure and found 32.1 million people would be eligible for Medicaid under the worst scenario. Under the current structure, 75.9 million people would be eligible. In addition, the report found federal spending on Medicaid under the Republican plan would drop by $1.4 trillion between 2012 and 2021, a decline of 34%. States would receive $243 billion less annually in federal funding for Medicaid, a 44% reduction. For more industry spotlights, visit producersweb.com.